good morning, everybody, and good people around the world today are looking for a better way of life. Welcome to Candid Conversations, where we have stimulating conversations involving real life people and real life situations. I am your host for today and every day, G, with my co-host, Tabby.
Tabby, your resident CPO, Chief Perspective Officer, is in the building on this Saturday, y'all. Good morning.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Listen, before we get started with the show, let's make sure we tell the people a couple of things, you know what I'm saying? So for my YouTube audience, make sure that you like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and comment, because I would love to hear your feedback on the visuals of the show. So make sure you do that for me. Tabitha, where can these people listen to us if they chilling right now?
They're just chilling right now at home. They can download the ATL Talks app. You can get it on iHeart, Google, Apple. Take us with you in all those places you like to go. It's Saturday. You may be at home, but you can download it there and listen in while you get this rain.
It is a nasty day today in Atlanta, so you ain't got no choice but to listen.
Yes, we appreciate it.
And we appreciate it. Listen, let's introduce the guests.
Yes.
Because this is going to be a good one.
As always.
All right. Well, I'm going to start with Miss Barbara Spear Norwood, whom is a battle rapper. Thank you for being on the show today. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. First of all, thank you so much for having me, Tab. I really appreciate the invite, so I'm super excited as well.
Absolutely. Tell the people a little bit about yourself.
Well, I am Boz, you see what I'm saying, and so I am a battle rapper. I've been doing that since 2019, and I consider myself to be a reporter for the people, you see what I'm saying? So I'm so glad to be able to have this candid conversation, because these are some topics that really affect our community.
Okay.
So I'm glad to be here to represent the battle rap community and what we have to say about it.
Okay.
All right. Represents.
Right. Well, lastly, this is one of my favorite people in the world, even though he's an a-hole to heart. I love him. I love him to death. No, I ain't gonna love him to death. I love him to life. Listen, this is the CEO, founder of Cluster Media, and we are celebrating 10 years in this game. Captain Darrel Davis
is in the building. Pleasant good morning to you on this Saturday morning. It's a morning.
It's a morning.
It's a morning here.
It's a morning here.
How's everything? I'm glad to be here again.
I love
with you, Tabitha.
Yes, yeah.
It starts to shade already.
Oh, no. I'm sorry as well. And Ms. Barr, thank you. I'm here.
Good morning, Cap.
It is our 10-year celebration.
Yes.
Wow, congratulations.
Thank you very much. 10 years.
Yes, this man has launched the careers of very many people.
Oh, here we go.
I mean, he likes to be humble, but let's just be honest. You know, he's launched the career of a lot of people, and he's still doing it with wholehearted, he's here, and this is his business, this is his thing, and I appreciate the opportunity, Captain.
Oh, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, even though I can strangle you sometimes, but I love it.
It's a great day. It's going to be a great show today. I am excited, having a great show. Thank you guys for inviting me here again today out of my good bed.
Yeah.
Come here to these studios.
You was going to be up here anyway. You live here.
I was. I technically really would have been here anyway.
So.
I wouldn't miss this. I'm ready.
Yeah.
Even though I haven't studied any, I haven't even looked at the topics. But
I gave them to him.
He did.
You're a natural, though.
So. He did. He always give them to me, but he knew I wasn't going to look at those topics.
He be too busy.
Well, but that's what makes it such great candid conversation.
I mean, I did not look at it. I said, oh, my God, you look at those. I don't even know what you guys talking about.
Well, just flow with it, brother.
I do. I love candid conversation anyway, so I never really.
Yeah. And he flows in pretty well.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
is there a particular reason why you didn't look at the topic? Like you just wanted to be more spontaneous or just busy?
No, not that too. I am spontaneous as well, and I don't have time to read. And I figure the show here, Candid Conversation, I probably can handle any conversation. I read and study a lot.
Right.
So I'm always ready.
All right.
So, yeah.
Always ready.
I'm always ready. Exactly.
I used to didn't tell the people what the topics were.
Okay.
I used to didn't do that, but they used to get mad.
He didn't tell me anyway.
I need time to study. What for? If you hold conversation, you should be able to hold it. But hey, I'll tell you what they are anyway. So that's why I went to that. So. Well, Darrel, again, thank you for being here. Thank you for being here, Ms. Barb. We're going to have a great show today. Listen, don't forget to also download the Cluster TV app where you can go and watch live content as well. Darrel has developed a platform for you to come on and watch some television.
Exactly. Cluster TV, go to Cluster TV. We have great content on the station.
It's on Roku and Fire Stick, right?
Yes.
Okay, so make sure you download the app and you can catch my visual of Candid Conversations there as well.
You can. You actually really can.
You can.
I love it. I love it.
So listen, we're going to get this thing started. But before we get in, I like to get the juices flowing a little bit. And I want to ask an icebreaker question. Captain, I'm going to start with you, if you, so you can answer this. So, and this is for the rest of you ladies as well and gentlemen. So, if a movie was made of your life, what genre would it be, and who would play Captain Darrell Davis?
Wow.
No, I think it'd be like in a movie. It'd probably be in like the I'm gonna say in the 80s. It had to be the 80s, early 80s. And who would play what actor?
Who would play the Cap?
That might be Ruthless. For a businessman, I don't know. It could be Denzel.
Okay.
Yeah, it could be Denzel.
He has a wide range.
He does. Yeah, he has a wide range. He does.
I can get with Denzel for that.
Okay.
This is Denzel, Ricochet Denzel.
Yeah, and
Training Day.
Or Training. No, that's a bit too. That's too.
yeah,
early.
it's so strange. No, because Training Day.
He is a California cop.
Yeah, he did that. Now he did that Training Day in the Jungle.
In the Jungle.
And I actually got robbed over there at the same area he did that movie.
Really?
At the time. I did. I was like about 20 years old. That's the first time I ever got robbed in my life. Over hanging out in the Jungle. Over at the pastor house.
Wow. No
Going to
way.
the pastor house, and I got robbed in the Jungle. This is right off of Crenshaw and King Boulevard.
Going out there to get some words.
Yeah, it's changed now. It is. It was. I was going to go into the pastor house, and I was going in my backseat to get some. Next thing there was this guy's in the backseat with me with a gun to my head.
Oh,
wow.
Well,
yeah.
we're glad you're here.
So the first lady said, you should have hollered a little loud. I would start shooting from the bathroom window.
First lady said that?
She did.
Wow. See what I'm saying?
She did.
Come on, first
Talk to
lady.
him first.
Because where that movie shot is like a lot of apartments, so that's why they call it the Jungle.
Yeah.
Because all these
So
apartments.
they was
over
on
there.
location.
Yeah, they was on location. I guess I was on location too.
Okay, you learned something new.
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
Darrell's from LA. He'll talk about California a lot during this podcast, I'm sure. Yeah. Okay, Tabby.
Genre, I guess 90s, because at that time I was around 20 or whatever.
I said the genre.
I mean, I was going
Is
to
it
the.
horror? Is it?
Oh, I
is
didn't
it
see that. I got
comedy?
you.
Is it?
So mine would probably be comedy, horror, drama, add them all up, a little bit of all of it, right? Horror. When I say horror, growing up, that's horrific type stuff. When you're learning who you are and all the other stuff, not in a scary like Freddy Krueger, 13th. But I did grow up in the project, so I don't know. But if I had to just go with one, though, I'd probably say more like a comedy. You know what I'm saying? So.
Okay. And who would play Tabitha?
Who would play Tabitha? Who I would like to play Tabitha? Maybe Angela Bassett.
Okay, I can see that. She can play anything.
Yes, exactly. That's who I would, I would love to do
She
that.
can play anything.
Yeah.
Okay, Miss Barb.
When you first asked the question, the first thing that came to my mind was horror. I'm like, it'll be a horror movie for sure. You know what I
Okay.
mean? So
Horror.
yeah, and maybe Lupita.
Oh, I like that.
They give a different type of vibe. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Okay. I like her a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like
yeah.
her. Okay.
What about you?
I'm gonna say mystery drama.
Okay.
Mystery drama.
Mystery drama.
And
Okay.
it'd be between Idris and Wesley.
I could definitely see the Idris.
I can definitely
I love his range.
Wesley.
Definitely.
I'm not familiar with Wesley.
Wesley.
Oh,
Snipes.
Wesley.
Wesley.
Wesley. Okay.
You better know who Wesley is.
Okay. Get that name right.
Yeah. So yeah, it'll be them two.
Okay.
Okay. All right, cool. Well, I want to see y'all's movies. You know what I'm saying? That's good.
I want to see your mystery.
Okay. Well, listen. All right, so let's jump in, y'all.
Nice icebreaker.
Yeah, just get that juice flowing, get the mind rolling a little bit since people might be still in bed. So we about to dive in. So what I would like to go ahead and hit first is, do people really have the ability to set boundaries in their life? Now, you can sit here and tell me that you want to set a boundary, but you never set the boundary, and then you still, fussing and cussing about it. So do people have the ability to set boundaries? I'm going to start with the CPO. Chief Prospective Officer, do people have the ability to set boundaries?
Yes, absolutely. We have the ability to set them. Now, sticking to them is probably
Whole nother
where
story.
it gets a whole nother story, because those lines get like blurred, right? You start out saying, hey, well, I'm not going to do this, or I am going to do that, and then life happens and people are who they are, and they start to encroach on those boundaries, right? But I think when you're setting them, you have to know who you are, so you know what boundaries to set, when to set them, and then when to kind of relax on them too. Because sometimes you're making a boundary based on a past behavior, right? Something that somebody else did. But then I meet you, and I'm automatically putting you in that category when you haven't shown, you know, those type of tendencies yet. I'm just kind of already thinking that, well, all guys, for example, all guys are a certain way, right? So you are a guy. So you met that first standard on it, and then my boundaries are not reflecting of my actual relationship with you. It's just a reflection of my past behaviors and past feelings about different things. So I do think we do have the ability to set them, control them as we go. And again, though, you need to be able to modify them accordingly to the experience that you're having then.
Okay. Cal, what you think? Because, you know, we've had this conversation.
Boundaries. You said respect. People do. Say the question about.
Do you have the ability to set boundaries? Because sometimes I don't believe you can.
It's hard for me to set boundaries
Right.
with certain people. I think it depends on who the individual is. I mean, setting boundaries would be kind of hard. So it's hard for me to set boundaries. It really is. So I can't say I set too many boundaries.
Why is it hard for you to do?
I don't know. I try to spare people feelings, but then they take me there. Then I have to go there. I mean, I try not to get to that point. But then when they get there, I say, okay, I can't take it no more. And, and people like you try to push me to set boundaries.
I do because so sidebar, we have conversations pretty regularly, and some of the stuff that happens, I don't like it. I know it ain't for me, it's for that person, but I don't like it. I'm like, you need to set some damn boundaries. And he'd be like, I want to, but I don't know.
Compassionate.
Yeah, his heart is a little pure to certain people, just like he said. You know what I'm saying?
It is. I mean, I do have to get better at it. It's like, okay, I think when people challenge me, then that's when I say, okay, let's go. Here we go. Because they will come to challenge me. Some people feel like, okay, I can just tell you this, and you're not doing this right. Then I say, okay, now let's set the boundaries. Here we go.
Yeah.
Then after I go there with them, I let them go. I let them go to so far to the point they think they got me, and then I take them to a whole different level.
Yeah.
I think down inside you kind of already know how far you're willing to go.
Oh no! Most time they don't know me, and then they take me there.
Yeah. But I'm saying, like, you know how you already know how far you're willing.
Right.
I'm sorry, you already know how far you're willing to go.
Oh yeah, I can take a whole lot of stuff.
Right.
And I think that's why G get upset about it, because I do take a lot of heat from individuals. I allow them to slide with a lot of stuff, and
It'd
don't
be the
say
wrong
anything.
people. Cause I be getting cussed out, like literally. You know what I'm saying? It's cool because I can handle it. It don't bother me. But I'll be like, that same energy you feed me, you need to feed the people that you need to set them boundaries with. Cause he don't set them.
Maybe you have a different standard for you, though. You know, kind of like
Exactly. There you go.
What's the standard? Because I would like to know what the standard is.
I think every individual have different standards.
Man,
when you're dealing with different individuals, people have different standards. So I think it's what it is.
Is something wrong with you?
No, I just
Okay,
no.
All right.
No, I'm just taking you. You probably need to put your deck B down because it's in a talk. So I'm just sitting here. I was looking at I didn't want to be interrupted in front of that conversation.
I got you.
But yeah,
I thought you was looking.
yeah, and I said, okay. I'm so you had to say you just couldn't look. But yeah, there you go. The boundaries, and that's right there. And I see something wrong. Then I had to say something. I knew it was about to take place, and he was gonna holler. He's gonna say something. People calling in saying they hear some other noise in the background.
That's why you're here.
Yes, but no boundaries. I think we do need boundaries, but and it's difficult for me. I never really set boundaries for individuals. I mean, I just deal with it. I think on individual basis, and whoever come my way, I say, okay, I can deal with this. Let you get away with certain things until I say, okay, I'm tired of this.
Yeah. Okay. Miss Bars.
I did OTAB. I feel like it's really important to set boundaries, and I think that we probably should spend more time on teaching the younger generation or whatever how important it is to set boundaries and why. And so kind of like what you were saying, G, you know what I mean? Like, you don't want people to be disrespectful. So for me, setting boundaries is about respect, right? And so a lot of times people can be pushy because everybody wants what they want, and I get that. But it's important for me to always respect my space and my boundaries. So yeah, I think that we do have the ability to set them, and I think that once you really understand why it's good to set boundaries for you, but for other people as well, because you want to give an example of how to always be respectful and respect other people's wishes.
I agree. I mean, I think people will lead with setting their boundaries off in an emotion or a past experience. like you said, but the thing is, are you gonna stick to it? How many times you gonna hit me once? Shame on me, hit me twice. Like, how many times you gonna set a boundary and let the boundary be broke all the many times, and you ain't learned no lesson? Like, what's the problem?
Well, maybe I learned a lesson, but I think sometimes we get in the hopeful state of hoping that somebody will react differently if I do kind of accommodate you a little bit more, right? And then you also start to try to consider what may have brought them to where they are on why their behavior are. Like, we definitely make excuses a lot of times on this is why this person is and stuff like that. But those are real factors sometimes. If I'm looking at a person that has gone through a certain types of life experiences, then it's natural that they're going to react a certain way.
Yeah.
Now, whether or not I'm going to tolerate it, you know
It's
what I'm
something
saying?
totally
That
different.
is a little different, you know what I'm saying, on where I decide that, okay, you know, I'm sorry you had your life experiences, or I can understand that you had your life experiences, but then when they start to, you know, spill over into my life experiences, then now I have to decide, is it something I can ride with or something I have to get off the bus?
Yeah, I mean, and let's not look at boundaries as a negative thing.
Right.
Right.
It could be a thing where you just want to protect your peace, and let people mess over you or try to get over all the time. You know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, I know how to deal with you, and I know what boundaries I need to set with you particularly. You know what I'm saying? So, like, if I know that you have a issue with being late or not being reliable, I know that the boundary is I don't need to call Tabitha. Tabitha's not gonna be there for me, so I'm gonna set that up here.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. And not get mad at her for
and
being
not get
who
mad,
she is.
because that's who she is.
Right.
Like Sean.
Ooh, shots fired.
Sean, I love you, bro. If you're listening, yeah, that fool be late. I be like, okay, well, it's just
all
him.
the time.
It's just him.
Yeah, I mean, I
It's him.
have people that, again, like you said, you know who people are, right? And you do have to understand that that's who they are, regardless as to what you expect from them and what you want from them. Who
Right.
they are is
It's
who they are. And you adjust accordingly. I had a person that was habitually late, so I used to literally, if we had to be somewhere at 10, I'd tell her 9. So when she pulled up at 10 or 10 and we were really, you know, so I would really be right in there where I had time to do stuff because I adjusted.
It happened all the time.
Yeah, man.
And you dealt with her.
Well, I still loved her for
It
who
doesn't
she,
matter.
Well, now this is the thing though. I adjusted with the fact that that was who she was.
It
Out
doesn't
of
matter.
all the other
Oh,
stuff
it
that she
clearly
did.
matters because you deal with it.
No, it doesn't. I don't. If you come to me, like if I have a meeting with you at 10 o'clock, I might give you 5 minutes.
Okay.
And I will leave. I'm out. People came here. I said, "Oh, you know, I'm leaving."
I've seen that.
And I said, "I'm leaving now." I said, "What?" I said, "Did I tell you 10 o'clock?" Well, it's 10:05. Exactly. So I'm leaving. Or like somebody they come in here like yesterday. I said, "So you know I got something to do. I'm not gonna sit here and talk to you." And so, what do you mean? I said, "I have things to do. You didn't tell me. You just surprised me and bringing people here with you, and I had no I had other things that I have to do."
Yeah.
So
It's just being considerate, especially with time, stuff like little things like that. If you tell me I got to meet, it's like you going to work. Then people pay you to be at work at 7 o'clock. Get your ass to work at 7 o'clock.
Well, and honestly, I'll be honest, she's a freelancer. That's why she did.
Right.
She knew that about herself, right?
Right.
But I mean, that's why it was certain things though that I didn't mix with her, right?
Yeah.
If it was something where it was time sensitive,
Right.
That's not I didn't call on her because that's not her strong point.
Right.
But for the time that I did, like if we were going to the mall or something like that, we say we're gonna leave at 2. If I really want to leave at 2, I tell her let's leave at 1.
I wouldn't do that. I just can't. Time is so precious to me.
It is.
It really is. So I just can't do it. I don't care who it is. I will leave. If somebody live in my house with me, I'll leave them. I said, "Come on. Well, you just can leave." I said, "Oh, I am. I'm leaving out the door."
So you have a time boundary. That one you really don't bend on.
Oh no, I don't
Okay.
bend no time boundary
Okay.
at all. I said I feel you should be on time. So you tell somebody you're gonna be there at 9:30, 10 o'clock. You should be there at that time.
Okay.
So
Great.
I believe in being punctual because it's like wasting your time. Why am I wasting your time? You took your time to get here to see me, and I'm not showing up on time. Well, it was a traffic. Well, you knew it was gonna be traffic before you left your house. So plan accordingly.
Absolutely.
I say that's disrespectful.
It is. It really is.
Oh, if you want to, you want to make me bad, play with my time. Play with it if you want to.
Play with the time.
I'm gonna show you.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't like that.
And I'm like, that's why I think it's good to set boundaries.
Yeah, the boundary
That,
is
you
you
know,
know G's time.
Absolutely.
Or you know Tabitha's time. You know Darrell like to be sitting
Really
around.
disrespectful.
If you tell him 12, be there at 11:59 or be there at 10:55 or whatever.
Right.
Because sometimes I feel like, saying, oh, well, that's who that person is or how they are can be a excuse for that person.
So yeah, you give them a
That's
crush.
true.
It's escape.
Mm-hmm.
That's
You know
true.
what I mean? Like, you can raise the bar on that. You can do better than that. You know what I mean? Especially if there's a goal and we're moving towards something. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
Yeah, I think again, the boundary thing is not always a negative.
No, I don't think so.
It could be a positive thing to protect your peace. You know what I'm saying? Like when you have a business or you just
Right.
or just have everyday life. Okay, so I don't have to deal with that type of energy. I'll just set the boundary. I can't deal with Darrell on certain days. I know. I'm just using that for an example. Like I can't deal with
Right.
Darrell on Mondays because he's extremely busy. So I know the boundaries not to bother him between here and here. It's that type of an ordeal.
Yeah, I've always thought that setting boundaries is a positive thing.
I
I've
look
never
at it
ever-
that way,
yeah, I
but
never
some
saw
people look at it as a negative because, like,
the
when
ones
you-
who want to cross them.
the ones who want to cross. Yeah, I agree.
That's a
people
good
will look
one.
at it like that because it's like, if I set up a boundary and we have a relationship,
Right.
and you feel like, well, I know him, I can jump the wall. You know, you can't.
Right.
You can't do that because it's almost like a bar money.
Ooh,
Okay.
not that boundary.
You see, it's like that kind of a boundary. Like I know that if I need some money, I probably can know who I can go touch.
Right.
And jump the boundary.
Right.
That's just an example because I don't need anybody's money, thank God. But
I
that's
do.
just I need more, but not nobody else's. But it's like I know, like okay, I know my rent is due today because it is the first. Pay your rent, people.
Talk to them.
Okay, pay your light bills. But Darrell, I need to borrow $1,900.
You got him for that, Darrell?
I got him.
He gonna
Today.
look at right.
That's dope.
You better make sure, before the other check go through, I'll get to you. I got 2 checks going through. Hey, the first man
Oh
win.
my God.
Because the way my bank account's set up.
For the
Right.
first man win.
Okay, but it's just like, yeah, I think people can have healthy boundaries, and I think people do set boundaries out of emotion. That tends to happen. I think people should definitely have boundaries to protect their peace and their livelihood because we're in a state where mental health is real, and
real,
you just
darling.
don't need to be taking on nobody else's
You better
stuff.
talk to us about it.
You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Absolutely.
Okay. You were talking about that a little bit, this morning. Not taking on nobody else's
Yeah, not taking on somebody
situations,
else's
baggages,
situation.
or whatever.
Yeah, and that's where the boundary come in at, right? Your stuff is your stuff, and my stuff is mine, as they say back in the day, the line in the sand.
Okay.
I bet you won't
Let's
cross
roll
that
it.
line.
But it amazes me how many people will disrespectfully try to cross the line.
Yes. Absolutely.
Literally.
Well, yeah, I mean, just like Darrell said, people want to see how much they can get away with, right? And how
They
much
do.
you'll allow.
And then once you sit there and say something to them, then they get upset with you.
Of course.
Like it's your fault.
Yeah.
No accountability.
Deflecting.
Deflecting and no accountability.
That's
taken.
right.
Projection, a whole lot of stuff. Isn't it?
Right, projection,
It is.
yeah.
So when that happens to you, Darrell, I got your attention because you're multitasking right now.
No, I'm sorry. Yeah,
He's
it's just,
working.
it
He's
is
working.
actually. So somebody
sorry, audience,
doesn't
if you
make you
see
get
him
away
on the
with
phone,
anything.
he's
No,
doing it.
I'm paying attention. He's not paying. I can do it. I can multitask. And
That's why I'm asking. Are you hearing me?
No, I'm hearing everything you're saying,
Okay.
but I'm sitting here trying to
So-
get that station back up back there at the same time.
That's what I'm
Somebody
saying.
called me. But no,
No, like so when you see people like slick trying to cross your boundaries, and I know how your heart is.
Mm-hmm.
Are you estimating it? Are you trying to like make your decision in the moment, or are you like, I am tired of this. I'm done. We're done. I'm good. Or you just gonna be like, you might huff and puff at the moment, and then let them back in the boundary.
Huff and puff at the moment.
no, I can I sit there, I think I prepare how to deal with them. I'm very strategic. Everything I do. I
Yes,
am.
that's the truth.
Everything I do is strategic. I don't sit there and just
It
sit there and just go off right then. I say, okay, let me think about how I'm gonna handle this situation, rather than sitting there and just go off and just talk crazy. And I mean, I don't like send subliminal messages either. I just go for it. Hey, I'm just
Passive
gonna call.
aggressive.
Yeah, I just go. I said, let me call you up and tell you how I really feel. I said that's fine, and then we can go through this together, or you can move on. I can move on. But I never tell people we can move on. I'm not the type of person like that at all. Like I have a neighbor, and he I think right after it was Christmas Day actually, when the pipes all busted, freeze,
Oh, wow.
and his pipes had busted. and he needed water. So he came to my house that night. I got home from Christmas like about 10 o'clock. He came and got some buckets of water for the toilet. And he had a friend of his was coming in town the next day. They were going out of town. And so, of course, he called me the next morning asking can his friend take a shower at my house. And I said, oh, okay, that's fine.
I remember the story. That's why I'm laughing.
Then I was talking to a friend of mine, my friend who I talked to. She we talked probably just have a good conversation. We said anything, and when I didn't realize I didn't click the phone over all the way. I did say some choice words. It didn't mean nothing behind it, and I'm quite sure he heard me. And after he heard me, he went on to
what he going to do?
I called him, and he said to me, I said, hey, you still need to take a shower? No, we don't need to take a shower. And that was the last of that.
So the boundary had been crossed.
With me? I don't know. I mean, 'cause I called him back.
Right.
And I think, did I apologize?
You hurt his feelings. And
Well,
the
it's
person
not-
feelings
Like,
who
did you
needed a
realize that
shower.
he had overheard you, or were you?
I kind of feel like he
He assumed he
did.
did.
Okay.
'cause
Yeah,
of the way-
but guess what? I still
Right,
called,
right,
but I still called him back. Like
You're a straight up person.
Yeah, I said, hey, y'all still come take a shower? No, we don't need to take a shower. So.
Well, you know what? He didn't. He had a nasty attitude.
But he could have called. He should
I
have addressed me
feel.
then. Don't you think he should have addressed me? I feel
Absolutely.
like he could have addressed me at that moment.
How he gonna address you about your stuff?
I mean,
You
but
see what I'm saying? Because you wasn't really meaning to talk to him. Like, you were expressing how you felt within yourself. Like you would never hurt his feelings.
but he know how I am. That's not the first. I've been knowing
Right.
this man. We
So if
worked
he
together
really
for
did take that shower,
23 years.
when you called him back, yeah, I'm ready.
But we always have a fall every 10 years. We have a big fall in our
Okay.
So it's always. It seems like it'd be always my fault, but I don't think it'd be my
Wow.
fault because I can tell the stories.
I could tell. That
And then his whole crew of friends stopped talking to me at the same time.
Oh, goodness.
So and then
Y'all too old for that shit. Now, ain't nobody got time.
you know, understanding. See, there we
you
go
are
that
crazy.
nasty mouth.
G.
Sorry. But
And
why y'all going back and forth? 10
no,
years
I'm not.
apiece?
No, because things happen. I don't want to say if something else happened, kind of
Right.
really drastic
Okay.
too.
Okay.
And his friends and some of my friends, they all came together, stopped talking to me. And he like at that time he lived
Did it hurt
literally.
your feelings?
Heck no, because they lived right
See?
across the street from me at that
You
time.
are so crazy.
And I would say, hey, and then like one time, and I'm the type of person I keep speaking, they like turn their nose up at me, and then some of my ex friends was over his house hanging out with them as well. And I said, it's okay, cause y'all gonna go down together.
Ooh.
And they did. And now none of them became his friends. He said, I should always listen to you. I said, you should have. I said, because if they sit there turned on me, which I don't care, I said, they definitely gonna turn on you. But the thing about me is, I'm not taking them back.
Right.
Because they turned on me. You just didn't know no better.
Did you take him back though?
So did you
No.
set the boundaries not to take them back?
No, I didn't take none of them back.
So that was your boundary.
Yeah, I didn't take any of them back. Him, cause we worked together at one time. We used to literally
So see
sit
how
there.
he lowered the boundary.
But no, but
for
then,
the neighbor.
but he always, this happens all the time because something really happened, really serious.
But when do you stop saying enough is enough?
I don't know. I can deal with pretty much a little bit of everything. You know, I can endure a whole lot. Yeah, you gotta be. I don't know what you can do to me. Take me down. If I can do it to death, my mama, I can do a whole lot of
you better
stuff.
talk to us about it.
No,
Yeah.
I understand that.
So,
but
yeah.
like, at what point did you just say?
It don't bother me. People don't bother me how they feel. We all have different reactions and actions. It don't bother me. I don't care. I mean, you can sit there and talk crazy to me and say, "Hey, G."
That's because you have no soul.
That could be it too. That could be it too. It just doesn't. I don't allow things to
Yeah.
No, I like
bother
that.
me
No,
to the
I
point.
like that.
I tell people if I could do a death by my mama, I didn't jumping and shouting, carrying on. My mama's passed away. I'm definitely not gonna jump around because you don't talk to me. Are you mad at me? Huh? I'm still gonna speak to you, and I'm still gonna. If I drive down to his house now, if I see my side of blood on, he'll turn his head,
Wow.
and I just hey, just speak.
Still speak.
Yeah,
That's right.
I didn't know you didn't. You just stopped talking to me for reasons I don't know.
Unknown.
Well,
Reasons unknown.
This is good because that actually segues into my next topic. So that's a perfect segue. Thank you for sharing that story. So illustrated. Thank you.
I'm a very illustrated
Clearly.
individual.
All right, no. So with that being said, Cap, do you think people can or will they ever be able to gain control of their emotions? Because you have individuals that do stuff strictly off of an emotion and then regret it when they had time to calm down?
I think I have deep emotions and I can control my emotions. I've been dealing with some stuff recently. Oh my God, it's deep. And I deal with it internally to the part. It's like the hardest thing I'm dealing with. But I can deal with it. It's hard. I tell people don't even know. These emotions are so hard. I'm the one who can actually deal with it. I mean, I can't even sleep. And I say, okay, God, I have to deal with this. Should I do this now? And, to reach out to people or whatever, I just can't do it. So I actually can control my feelings. Most of my friends feel that you can hang. I can't believe you can control your feelings like you do internally and then externally. I said, oh God, it's not the easiest thing to do. It's something that I just train myself to do. Even I just say, okay, I don't know how I'm dealing with this, Lord.
Yeah.
This is hard. But I just say, okay, I'm not gonna. I'll go write notes to myself. I write a note to whoever I'm having a problem with, or I write notes. I say, okay, I'm gonna text them right now. So I text them in my note in my phone, so I always have it in my phone. So this is what I'm saying to whomever I'm talking to. So I have a phone full of notes to different people.
I like
Yeah.
that.
So I say, oh, then I sit there and say, okay, you did it. Or I say, okay, I got to send this song to this person. Well, guess what? I just send it to the notes. So I send it to them. So mentally, I did what I had supposed to do. So if I ever talk to whoever, say, okay, this is what I said about you on this date. So I did do things like that. So I can control my feelings,
Okay.
but most people can't. They'll say, well, I'm not gonna do it. I say you shouldn't, don't have to. But then they'll tell me, well, you shouldn't call or talk to G or Tabitha. I said, but I told you don't talk to Mikey or John. Well, you stronger than I am. I said, huh? Not necessarily. I can control my feelings. I can. I mean, I don't care how hard it's. I mean, like now it's like I'm going to like the roughest times in my life, but I can control my feelings mentally. And it's like, why am I going through this?
Tabby, can you or have you dealt with well, you look like you can control yourself, but had you have to get to a point where you be able to control your emotions or anything like that?
Yeah, I think so. I do remember one specific incident where I came home and I was really upset with my brother, very upset. He used to just drive me nuts. And this particular day, it was one of the days he had got up under my skin. So I go in my room, I'm like pulling stuff all down. I literally looked like I was in a tornado in the room, right? And then after it was all said and done, it's like, yeah, so you got to clean this up. So what was the best way to respond to, what had happened? Now, it was legitimate, what my feelings were. It was all legitimate and things like that. But the control, I think, is more of controlling your response to it, your reaction to it, right? Because life is going to happen. People are going to be who they are. You're going to do things. People are going to do things. You're going to be in a scenario where there's a lot of stuff going on. Some you control, some you don't. But it's that reaction to what's going on that I think most people, and definitely I've learned that's the best for me, is to control what I'm reacting to. G is going to be G. Cap is going to be Cap. Barb is going to be Barb. You all have the right to be that. And as things go along, my response to it is where I'd like to kind of really get into it and see, like, okay, if I do this, you know what I'm saying, where's that going to lead to, right? So if it's not going to lead to something that I want to know I have to answer to later, such as being a tornado in my room, now I got to be the one to clean it all up. He didn't even help, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Then I start to, just like kind of Cap said, I get kind of strategic about that stuff, right? I literally get strategic about how I'm going to respond to something. If you cross me, I'm kind of thinking, well, I don't know, I might need you down the line at some point about something. So I might not cut you off completely right now. So I'm really strategic about certain things. Now, are there some things that you can do that I will not deal with you on, based on that? But still, I'm not going to really respond in a way where I don't really want you to know, to kind of even suspect how I might approach something. So that's why I'm really strategic about how I respond to stuff.
All right, Miss Barb, what about you?
Our ability to control our emotions.
Yes.
I feel like we can. You gotta want to, but first you have to admit that you have emotions. So a lot of people say, I'm not like having emotions is a bad thing. Being emotional is not bad. Like, you have emotions. Like, you can admit that you have emotions, and so then you can start to see how, because your emotions keep you safe. You know, if something makes you mad, it makes you mad. Respect yourself and respect your emotions. You see what I'm saying? Like, so many of us has become desensitized. It's almost become a badge of honor to say, nothing moves me. You know what I mean? But yeah, stuff will move us. And so you just respect that. And when you do that, when you start to see your emotions as a superpower, as you begin to see your emotions as a guidance system, you know what I mean? It becomes powerful. And so it becomes, you want to work on that. You want to work on that, on your inner person, because you want to be able to utilize all of your emotions. You see what I'm saying? To better yourself, which I feel like when you're bettering yourself, you have done your job for the entire world.
Okay.
Bettered the world. So I feel like, yeah, we can do it, but first we have to admit that we have emotions every day, every second of the day.
Can any of y'all admit to say y'all have control of them or have lost control of them?
I mean, definitely. I mean, in certain situations, I will go off. You see what I'm saying? That's just what it do. I'm real like that. You see what I'm saying?
Okay,
Like,
so what are you because you gave me a whole speech about superpowers and all. Are you literally stopping and thinking before you're making a reaction in the moment? Or are you letting your emotion control the situation?
Well,
because in the perfect world, I can sit here and say, I'm going to take a narrow road and think about how I can not use this or say this, but you're lying through your teeth, not you specifically.
No,
People say that.
Right.
And they say, oh, well, yeah, but in the moment.
I think it's a
People
mix,
lose
though.
it.
I feel
It's a
like
mix.
I work really hard to get better at responding versus reacting. Like,
Yeah.
I take my life very seriously. So do I think about that? Absolutely. I'm a thinker. I love to think.
Yeah.
And I advise more people to be okay
to
start thinking. You know, it's okay to be alone. It's okay to sit down with nothing on. I mean, we're glad their radio is on today, but
Yes, leave it on.
Leave it on.
Yeah.
It's good to be in silence. A lot of people don't know what silence. They can't stand silence.
Yeah.
And they feel like being by themselves, they're lonely. But I have really learned how to empower being alone. I never feel lonely. I'm working on me. Because I want to be a better person for myself, for my children, for my grandchildren, for y'all children, for y'all grandchildren, because it's a real community out here. You see what I'm saying? So
I agree.
I want the little boys, the little girls, everybody know you do have emotions. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong to cry. There's nothing wrong that somebody did something that made you mad. Somebody did something that made you happy. Or you saw something that touched you in a way. We have to learn how to get back in touch with who we are through our feelings.
I agree with you a whole hundred. I agree 100%. I'm real advocated on men expressing their emotions, especially black men, and that's one of my pushing through this platform, because black men are looked at upon as a feminine trait if they have an emotion. So with that being said, a lot of men are not able to.
That makes me angry.
Yeah, but it's not cool. It's not cool for us to invoke our emotion because of that, because of the way we were raised, because of everything we got going on. But I agree, we should be able to invoke the emotion, get it out, because a lot of these black men take their emotion, and you see what happens on TV now. Like you read, you don't want to watch the news because you see another black man has been killed, or another black man has killed somebody, because they can't invoke the emotion. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, okay, you tell me to take control of them. That's fine. I want to learn how to take control. I mean, for me, honestly, if I had kids or like nephews and nieces or anything body younger than me, let's talk about these emotions. Please invoke your emotions. Please do what you have to do, because it makes the mental clear. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And then those same situations no longer affect you the same way.
Yeah.
You done got to the other side of it.
Yeah.
You made it.
You made it.
And you had a good point about, we say we think about a lot of stuff. We think about, how we respond, and some stuff just happens, right? Some things happen to you and you just react because, it's a natural response to something. But I think as you get older, a couple of things that you start to control who you're around that might elicit the type of feelings and what kind of situation that don't allow you to be in a situation where I got to react without thinking and stuff like that. Once you start limiting that, you know what I'm saying, then you can be in a situation where you think more about what you do as opposed to, always being in a situation where, you're being emotionally without thinking about it, without thinking about long term, what's this going to do if I do this right now.
I feel you, but think about it. how many people wouldn't be in jail or suffered a consequence from their thinking like that?
Right.
Right.
Talk to us.
Okay, you didn't put any thought into it. My teacher always told me, I would never forget this as long as I live. I had to be in about middle school. She was like, stop and think before you make a reaction. Stop and think about it for a second. Well, people can't do that because they're in the middle of an argument doing something, and they don't want to lose. The pride kicks in at that point. So they don't want to be embarrassed or look like
wrong.
Don't want to be wrong or look like the so they start popping off.
Right.
They start popping off. Darrell, you know I'm not lying.
That's true.
They start popping off because they don't want to look bad. Well, you think you got me, but I'm finna get you worse. And then it starts on a whole another spectrum because you're not. It's no human on the face of this earth that can say some words to me that's gonna make me have a reaction.
Right.
I'm not doing it. It's no person on this planet. She's dead now. My grandmother. That was the only person that made me get like a cry reaction. Ain't nobody else can give me no reaction to make me pull out my gun or beat your. None of that. I'm not finna do that because I'm too grown. Number one. And then I have to think about the consequence after I done killed you or whooped you.
You are thinking.
I'm thinking about it.
Right, but part of your strategy though is not being in situations that will bring that out in the first place.
But sometimes you can't control it.
Well, most times you can though, because like say for example, again, I had a friend that ended up in a situation where they ended up getting hurt because they were hanging out in the neighborhood back with the friends back in the day, right? Now, that environment, that neighborhood is known for that type of stuff. Now, you haven't lived and been in that area 20 years, but you go over there because, boys over there, you're hanging out over there and all that other stuff, which is cool, nothing wrong with that. But that's an environment that that's more than likely going to happen because that's what goes on. Those are the group of people that's they sit around, they smoke, they drink, they do all that stuff that usually ends up in a situation where people are arguing and all that other stuff. Now, one of the decisions that you sometimes would make is, I ain't kind of hanging out with them today, not today. You know what I'm saying? Because I know how that normally leads. So it doesn't mean that, okay, I did hang out with them and it was going to turn out like that, but it's more than likely because that's usually what that environment brings out of it. So for me, I'm not going to really go around that type of scenario so that I'm not in that I don't have to make those decisions.
I get it, but again, sometimes that can come to you. I could be at the store, somebody that bumped me. I could be in traffic in Atlanta, Jesus Christ.
Absolutely.
And somebody that cut me off, and I can sit here like, I can cuss because I done cussed in the car many days.
I hear you. I hear you.
Or I can follow them. Or if my mind, I'm going to follow you, and I'm going to do some stuff. They got a show where people literally is angry or something. A woman followed this man home to his house because he cut off in traffic. It's like sometimes you can't.
I done did that.
I had a man, I ain't gonna lie, no joke. I had a man when I was going into the office. I had the Peach Pass. I'm in the Peach Pass last driving home. This man was on a motorcycle, white man. He literally would stop the motorcycle in motion while I'm behind him to try to invoke me to hit him, right? So then he stopped it one time and then he turned around, took off his helmet and spit on my windshield.
Oh my God.
Okay. So I could do one or two things here. I could blow your head off because I'm in range.
Oh, wow.
I really could because I was looking like, ooh.
I know it took
everything in me because number one, you white, then you spitting. Disrespectful.
Oh my God.
Disrespectful. You spit all on my windshield.
So if a black person spit on your windshield, that's cool?
I'm just saying like, spitting is disrespectful anyway.
It really is.
You just spit on my
nasty.
windshield, bro.
I'm trying to figure out what did you do.
So I initially I wanted to shoot him. I was literally going to go to jail.
Right. Okay.
Then I stopped and thought about it. I was like, okay, let me think about this. If I shoot him, my life ends today. Because number one, a black man has shot a white man. They ain't looking at what happened or what happened to provoke the shooting. It's done. I'm going to jail for the rest of my life. I can't have my mama suffer like that. I'm going to let you go ahead and drive, bro.
So a situation was brought to you and you thought about it before
I
you
had
reacted.
to because I had to literally think like, if I shoot, because I was going to shoot him. That was the first thing, like shoot him. Then it was like, no, if you shoot him, this effect will happen. No, you can't do it. Just let them go ahead and do it.
I
Just
don't even
wash
want
the
to think
car.
about that scenario.
Yeah, but that was the scenario I was put in. I didn't ask to be put in there.
Right, but that's my point, though.
You
But
know what I'm
still,
saying?
even though that was a situation that you didn't ask for, and you still had the forethought to understand that if I react in a certain way, based off of these high strong emotions that are flying on right now, this could end up being a long term
problem. Because I don't think me and Jill will make it. It'll be a long.
I don't think. Yeah, not just you. I don't think I can make it in jail.
I
Either.
don't think me and Jill gonna make it, bro. But I really wanted to hit that because again, with the emotions topic, there's always a what?
Backstory.
Thank you. There's always a backstory.
Trademark.
That's my trademark, backstory. Right? There's always a backstory. So emotionally, we've dealt with something that triggered us to be able to go and react off an emotion immediately. But I think a lot of things can be squashed, salvaged, ironed out if you just stop and think before you react. If I invoke this emotion, this may ruin my relationship with Tabitha.
Absolutely.
Let me stop and think about it for a second.
Absolutely.
Some people don't even care about relationships.
They
don't care.
Oh.
Especially, it's not even young people. It's like in their 30s. That's like the worst group of people right now. That group.
The 30-year-olds. Why they was there? Why?
I know a lot of 30-year-olds, and they are the absolute worst.
Tell me why you think they can't control their emotions.
I mean, 'cause they take everything personal. They can't
That
sit
is
there.
so true.
They
Oh
take
my
everything
God.
personal. They haven't grown up enough to sit there and realize this is the reality. Things going to happen. People going to say things to you that you're not going to agree with. You can't take it personal. You have to sit there and say, okay, hey, I'm not. I don't like what he said, but this is G how he talks, or this is Darrell how he actually speaks. But he's not saying it to hurt me. He's saying it probably to help me out somewhat, or he must feel some kind of way, rather than I'm not talking to that person today. Who they think they are? I'm this is who I am. I can do what I want to do. And it's the 30-year-olds who are doing this. They're more narcissistic than anything nowadays too.
Come on, narcissism.
And I see that more so in that group of the 30s. I know a lot of people in their 30s. And it's really kind of sad because it's a new generation.
Yeah.
Okay, but check it. Who raised them?
The baby boomers.
Ooh.
The actual baby boomers.
You know, who raised them? You know
I think it's I guess it's the baby boomers. I mean,
us.
Yeah, we are the ones. We are.
You know, I'm big on accountability. Like with the young people.
We are.
y'all.
No, we are. Cause like I can say that now because I have like couple.
Because I'm always trying to find ways. How do we bridge that? Like, how do we communicate to where everybody kind of understands? Like, for you to know, for that 30-year-old to know, we're telling you this out of love, baby. Because ultimately, we want you to receive
But when you're 36 and
want you to
37
receive
years
the
old, you
information.
should know by now.
That's a fact of mundo.
Yeah, you should know. But then I have like a nephew, a couple of 28 and 31, and not knowing better. And I mean, like, they just bought a house. One just bought a house, and I just looked at something in his account this morning. I said, you ain't got to myself. I said, you don't have enough money to pay your mortgage next month.
Oh,
and you just got paid yesterday.
I know he was ready to fight, wasn't he?
No, he don't know. No, fight with me.
They
No,
don't like them kind of fags.
Oh no, he would never. No, I don't say anything to him.
Okay.
because he's supposed to be grown.
Oh yeah, he's supposed to be
Right.
grown. I don't say
Yeah.
anything to him, and I mean he's supposed to be grown, but he still share a bank account with me.
Right.
But it's not my money in that account; it's his.
Right.
So I allow him. Then every month, I thought about just going to cut the overdraft thing off, so it would hurt. It would really cripple him.
Right. Well, or help him, right?
It probably help him.
It's gonna help him.
But then, because every month he go into the negative $500 to $600 every month.
Right.
So of course, part of his check is already gone because he get military checks. So part of his check is already gone. And so I said, okay. I looked at this morning and said, where are you going to get the money from to pay that other piece of that because this mortgage because it's missing a couple $100. And you don't have no other income. No, he's
Definitely not getting it from him.
He got too much pride to ask me. He know. I mean, he went and bought groceries. Probably I knew he said, dang, he spent a lot of money on groceries to myself.
Right.
He needed all those groceries. Eat some hot dogs. But we're gonna see.
Let's eat.
Yeah, go eat some hot dogs. Get some cornflakes.
Some ramen
But I
noodles.
think taking away the overdraft will help him.
I don't have to, because I get the phone call every month from the bank. He doesn't,
Right.
Listen,
and so I think they ask me all the time. So I might take it away. That's gonna kill him right there. But it probably help him too.
No
well, I
problem
mean,
about
you
it
have
in
to
my
let
book.
you have to let people be adults. On
Yeah,
this.
I'm saying.
I mean,
Help him.
at one point, are you going to say? And I know we strayed a little bit because
Overdraft
Darrell
is
tends to make us stray a little bit. It's okay. We talking about emotions, not bank accounts.
This is about emotion.
How's his emotions affected? Because you didn't tell him he overdrafted, did you?
No, he knows he overdrafted.
Okay.
And so I have spoken to him about that. And so his emotions, he gets sad.
Taking it
or
personal.
His mental state, he say he'll go lock stuff in the closet and stuff like that. And say, because normally he lived with me for like 8 months. He just bought the house talking about, well, he called me sir. Sir, you wasn't there to talk to.
He pulls at your heartstring.
Yeah, but it don't bother me. I mean, I can take it.
You know what?
This is favorite nephew.
But I said that, but I can deal with it though. Not telling him these words. You'll be strong.
That's
That's his coin
You'll
phrase.
be strong.
You'll be strong.
I
You'll
said
be
I'm
strong.
okay with it.
right.
And then like he got a summons to
But
come to
that's a
jury
fact,
duty.
though.
It is. I said you're gonna be strong doing this. So you need to learn how to deal with it. He got a brother who
Right.
lived with him. Why he ain't doing anything?
Here's the thing. So it all starts at the house, right? So we have these kids. When people have kids, and it all starts at the house. And nobody. I always say this like all the time. No parent came with an instruction manual. They're pretty much learning off of what their parents taught them. But you have to be able to. And I'm not a parent, but you can tell me if I'm wrong to the parents in the room. You have to be able to adjust with the times. Okay, we're in a time where you have to kind of adjust and get on their level to make them understand.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You can't put that old school on them and expect them to be adapted going forward in this time in 2020 and like in this life. Some things you can apply.
Right. All right. Some things
you
are still the
can't.
same,
Some
right?
things are still the same, like learning how to control your finances and
Right.
and you know, like we're in a place where mental health is a little bit normalized. So now you may be able to have a talk with your child about,
Thank God.
tell me how you're feeling or what is
Right.
going on or whatever the case
Right.
may be. That's normalized now. Back then it was go to Jesus and pray. Now it's go to Jesus and pray, but also use the vessels called therapists.
Therapists, counselors,
Use
and all
them
that
because
stuff.
that's what God put them here for. You know what I'm saying? So those are the things we need to grasp.
I mean, therapists. I've been to a therapist before, and I don't think it did me any good because I'm the type of person. I'm strong-headed. I don't listen. I really don't listen.
Okay.
Because I mean, I go by my feelings, my emotions, and
See,
therapists
you can't control them, obviously. Then
Well, I can. No, I can control them. I just don't allow myself to get caught up in people. I say maybe you need to see a therapist, and I said I don't think I'll be. Therapists are crazy too. 9 out of 10. My sister's a licensed therapist.
You so crazy.
And she's crazy. She is. She told me some things. the other
maybe
day.
that just runs in the family.
Well, maybe it does, sir.